Hey y'all, and welcome to Poetic. My name is Brian, and Scott Jennings goes on an epic Inauguration Day rant, and he shuts up this entire panel of CNN hacks who are losing their minds over Trump's pardon and, of course, him taking office. Let's dive in.
Given the fact that President Trump said quite clearly, or at least teased that he was planning on pardoning any number of these individuals, it should not come as a surprise that he took advantage of basically the freebie that the Constitution gives presidents of the United States. So no, I'm not surprised.
Scott?
Well, watching Donald Trump's day today, I'm just struck by the fact that we have a president again. I mean, look at this guy's day. 3 speeches, 196 executive actions, holds a 90-minute press conference narrating each one as he goes along. I mean, Joe Biden could not and would not offer the kind of transparency or vigor to the American people that we got here on day one from Trump. And tonight, Trump's going to throw on a tux and go to 3 balls. I mean, he's having an active day. I think it's going to be a massive amount of contrast here for a presidency like what we're going to see out of Trump and versus what we've had out of Biden. I was watching Trump today, and Van and I were talking earlier today, watching him walk down the hall of the Capitol, and the words that came to mind to me were gritty, resilient, determined, and audacious. There's not like a more perfect advertisement for the value of these qualities in modern America. I mean, you think about all the things that happened to him. Winning, losing, the court cases, nearly being assassinated. It's rather audacious what he has accomplished, winning this election and taking office today. And you said you were in shock. Well, Republicans are in awe.
What about the pardons? What's your take on that?
Here's what I think. Were these people punished? Yes. Were they ruined financially? Yes. Did they spend time in jail? Yes. Have their lives been ruined? Absolutely. And one of you said earlier, Van or Axe, that you think this sends a terrible signal that you can get away with things like this, as though we've never had a moment in recent American history when people were not punished for rampaging around when they shouldn't have been. It was the summer of 2020. And these people were actually punished. Those people were never even charged.
That's not true at all.
That's not true.
Let him answer. But I do see it differently in that I don't like it when people tear up buildings at all. I'm not a part of some pro-riot, pro-crime lobby. But I really don't like when people attack police officers. I really don't like it at all. I'm the son of a police officer. My uncle's a police officer. I don't like it at all. If you attack a police officer, before you get any lenience or before you get any support from this society, you should apologize. And they didn't. And that's wrong. And you yourself and others said you would have a problem if the violent ones were let go.
I concede it. I agree.
And that's my problem tonight.
I agree. I don't like the idea specifically the people that attack police. I'm in agreement with you on that. But I do think it is important to note that these people, whatever they did, whether it was just accidentally walking in or doing something much, much worse, Elliot, you can correct me if I'm wrong, most of them, if not all of them, did get punished, serve some kind of time. And my assumption is virtually all of them have had their lives effectively ruined by this.
I thought there were hundreds of them who have not actually been tried yet.
Oh, give me a break. I want to wax poetic about Scott Jennings and his ability to turn a phrase. Okay? Democrats are in shock, Republicans are in awe. And that's a fantastic turn of phrase right there, because that is 100% the truth. Democrats, once again, for the third time in the past 25 years, they're in shock that this happened. The first shock happened back in 2000, back because, Brown County didn't know how to vote properly, and they had all these little hanging chads off of their paper ballots. And the Supreme Court finally said, this is enough. We're throwing out all of this junk. George W. Bush is the president. Suck it up. Just deal with it. Then in 2016, Hillary Clinton forgets to campaign in the Midwestern states, and Donald Trump wins. So yeah, this is sort of shock and awe, but truth be told, I am in awe. What Scott Jennings just listed off is an amazing rap sheet of what Donald Trump does in a single day. What Donald Trump does in a day, Joe Biden achieves in a month. And I'm not saying that to spite Joe Biden. I'm not saying that to be mean to him. The dude's just old and probably needs to be put in a home, all right? This dude needs to be maybe he needs to be in hospice. I think Tim Pool said it best that he needs to be on a nice, warm, sunny porch, licking his vanilla ice cream and hanging out with all of his grandchildren, including the one from Arkansas. Joe Biden cannot achieve what Donald Trump has achieved. He simply doesn't have the energy. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is out here going from the Capitol building to Capitol One. That's the arena out in D.C. That's where they have their basketball and hockey games. And then he's out there signing executive orders left and right, narrating the whole thing, and then hosting multiple press conferences and multiple speeches. Let's be honest. If we're to compare the two, one's a giant, one's a midget. Okay? Sorry, little person. Okay? Homage to Peter Dinklage. So, I am not saying this to be mean. Okay? That's simply the truth of what's going on. You quite literally have a dude with literal dragon energy. Okay? He doesn't get a lot of things right, but he got that one right. Because Donald Trump just doesn't sleep. He works. And then he's out there partying to We Are the Champions and YMCA. Joe Biden can't match that kind of energy. And Van Jones, when you want to sit out here and talk about, well, the people on that cold day in January really need to apologize for what they did. Yeah, I'm sorry. Speaking of people licking ice cream, Nancy Pelosi was the Speaker of the House at the time, and she loves her ice cream. She gets that really expensive stuff. And back when we were all locked down and she was in her office, she even opened up her refrigerator in an attempt to show just how in touch she was with the public, and revealed one of the most expensive ice creams on the planet. And I'm not talking about Ben & Jerry's, which, by the way, Ben & Jerry's is mid. Come at me with that. Let me know what you think of Ben & Jerry's down in the comments below. But she thought she was being positive and uplifting and helping Americans and just showing that she's in the fight with them, when all she's really doing is reminding them, hey, I get to exchange my stocks under the table. Look at what that buys me. Okay, it is time for the corruption to end. It is time for the just sleepy Joes of Washington. And we still have a whole bunch in the Capitol building as we speak. It is time to start sweeping through and cleaning things out and putting things out to pasture. There's something called a not sun. Oh no, definitely not sundowning. Whew. No, there's in Georgia law, I remember this the grandfather principle. There we go. Sundowning means two things. One's legislative, one's you don't want to look up the history of sundowning in southern towns. Let me put it to you that way. Thank God we've gotten out of that era. But we've talked about grandfathering in legislation. We've talked about putting things out to pasture. It is a new era here in America, and Scott Jennings is out there speaking truth to power, whereas Van Jones can't even say that the rioters for the George Floyd riots, which, by the way, if you wanted to riot about someone, riot about Ahmaud Arbery, not George Floyd, okay? So, of course, Van Jones can't call them out, but he can call out the people that walked into the Capitol building, all because Nancy Pelosi refused outside help, even from Donald Trump himself. This is poetic justice coming full circle. And I'm surprised Scott Jennings didn't actually bring this up. But remember, he's on CNN. He's got to play by a certain set of rules. And if he breaks them, like saying that, I'm glad that this person didn't have a pager on him. You remember when the Israelis planted all these pagers on these Hamas supporters and then detonated them all at once? That was peak irony. So yeah, you got to be careful about what you say on CNN. So of course, Scott Jennings is going to pull some of his punches here and there. And so that's why he's on CNN and I'm not. But ultimately, Scott Jennings is speaking truth to power, where Van Jones is out here mourning and lamenting, when deep down he knows the truth. Okay? He actually admits the truth from time to time. This is not one of them, because that's what you get when you're on CNN. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Political Brawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one, and until then, y'all have a good one.